I'm here today to speak to oppose the increase to the Winnipeg police budget for 15.1 million in mill rate spending, which means that the budget will reach 293.1 million in 2025. There's so much good that 15.1 million in spending can do for people in Winnipeg, and in my view, that money would be wasted if it were allocated to the Winnipeg Police Service. I know from experience that the Winnipeg Police will use the results from their biased 2024 citizen survey, which evaluates Winnipeggers' satisfaction with the Winnipeg Police Service and perceptions of crime and public safety in Winnipeg, and they'll use that resource to make the case for why they need this funding, so I'm also going to base my remarks in that same survey. In 2024, it showed that 65% of the 600 survey respondents reported feeling very unsafe walking downtown after dark. It's also important to note that only 18% of those same respondents reported feeling unsafe at night in their own neighborhood. So then this data reveals two really interesting things. The first one is that perceptions of people not living in a neighborhood can be used as a valid justification for increasing policing in an already heavily policed area. But it also shows that so far, the existing police presence downtown, which is quite significant, has been an abject failure at providing even an illusion of safety for people. Not unrelated to that fact is that the survey shows that the Winnipeg Police Service has received its lowest rating to date. Since 2025, the confidence in the Winnipeg Police has fallen from 81% to 58%. The belief that the Winnipeg Police provides a good quality service has fallen from 72% to 54%. And there has been a significant growth in the number of people responding to the survey who think that there are too many cops in Winnipeg. Despite this year's performance will likely be rewarded with $15.1 million in additional funding from City Council, but that means it'll be first be approved by people on this so-called oversight board. Despite the Winnipeg's police shortcomings, it's undeniable that some survey respondents feel that there are too few cops in Winnipeg, so that's what 50% of respondents noted, and 38% felt that the Winnipeg Police Service is underfunded. I presume those numbers will be relevant in the Winnipeg Police's demand for more money, but I think that needs to be tied into the fact that 76% of respondents in the survey said that they found that the Winnipeg Police was a moderately or completely trustworthy source of local public safety news. So it's really unsurprising that they would then parrot the WPS's talking points about what can make Winnipeg safer. But if we don't take the Winnipeg Police at face value and we ask ourselves what other options exist outside from this continuously growing carceral apparatus that control, we're left with questions about what could it mean to you to rely on something that isn't policing and isn't surveillance. There are numerous evidence-based solutions that have been brought forward both as alternatives to policing and as innovative ways of fostering safety in Winnipeg. This includes, but isn't limited to, non-market housing initiatives, harm reduction efforts like safe consumption sites and safe supply, violence interruption programs and outreach programs, free transit for everyone, and so much more. The previous delegate noted this as well, but it is beyond the mandate of this board to fund those initiatives, but it does remain true that by approving the police budget, you'd be undermining the city's capacity to fund those initiatives while furthering the misguided perception that policing plays a role in meeting people's very real safety needs. As members of this board, you get to choose if you want to continue investing in the failed experiment of policing as a means of creating public safety. There's ample evidence that proves that policing does not and cannot make us safer, and a vote in favor of this police budget is to reject that evidence. It's also to say that the violence carried out by the Winnipeg Police Service this year was not serious enough for you to reconsider wanting to grow the police force, or at the very least, pause additional investments in policing to free up resources to explore other options. Freezing the police budget at 2024 levels would reflect actual engagement of what being concerned about police violence looks like, because whether it's understood as the intent or not, the reality remains that it is with funding that this board approves that police violence occurs in the city. To take that first step between ending your complicity with police violence in the city would mean freezing the budget in order to allow non-police safety initiatives to take hold in the city. It would be to reaffirm the importance of services like community connections at the Millennium Library that were wrongfully cut from this budget. Freezing this budget would mean being open of introducing safe learning outcomes and instead engage critically with what it means to fund policing in the city. Freezing the budget at 2024 levels would put an end to rewarding the violence police inflict on our communities and instead recognize the life-saving potential that non-police solutions can have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Are there any questions of board members? Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation this morning.